Hi creative friends, this is Soraya and thank you so much for being here. So this is the piece that is complete and I'm going to bring it up closer. So I didn't film the last little bit of it because it was just, you know, it would have been too many videos, I guess, because the way I work when I'm making these portraits is I work a little bit, I allow the layers to dry, and then I come back to it. So it would just have been too tedious, but all I really did was the same, you know, push and pull, and I put in the eyes. I just you know, painted the nose in more detail, and I think really that was it. I did do another layer of writing and then smushing my paint all over top of it, but I'm gonna bring it up closer and maybe you can just see the little splashes and splatters and all the interesting things that happened. So one of the things that I noticed, because I listen to each of my videos before I post them, is for my last video, right at the end, I said something about, you know, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I was talking about my painting as if it was a product, and I used that exact word. And so I said something like, you know, my product isn't finished, but you know, it's almost at the tail end, or I don't remember my exact words, but I do remember that word. I referred to this painting and perhaps all of these portraits as products, and it really puzzled me because I was like, why did I say that? Because I'm not going to sell it, and I don't look at my art as products anyways. And so after like doing some journaling and just kind of you know, reflecting on what it could possibly mean, the only conclusion I could come to is that when I am doing this 100-day project and painting these portraits, I am doing it simply to learn. Like, I'm not painting like I am painting, say, in this book over here, you know, in this art journal, where I'm just so excited and I'm so like, I'm just creating all this stuff. Not to say that I'm not excited about doing this. I don't want to give you the impression that, you know, I'm forcing myself to do this. I'm not. But even when I paint in, like, say, Connie Solera's book, and even though I'm primarily painting in that book to learn, I still didn't refer to that as a product, but I did to this. So it was really puzzling to me, and I mean, that's the answer I came to right now. And I don't know, maybe a month from now I'll go, oh, what I really meant was blah blah blah, this is why I really said that. I don't know, but for right now I'm thinking that, you know, maybe it's because I'm primarily doing this to learn and to strengthen my visual language, and I'm probably going to go back and paint over all of these paintings. Like, I'm probably going to, well, not the first one, not this one over here, because this one I did when I was in Italy, and I'm gonna keep this one. But all the other portraits, like, I'm probably just gonna cover it up and paint over top of it. I don't know, you guys, sometimes things just kind of puzzle me, and I have to kind of think about it and go, why did I say that? But anyways, I'm gonna delve deeper into it, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention, and also to my attention, because I want to kind of unearth like what was going on. And like I said, maybe I'll figure it out in a deeper way down the road. But anyways, I am going to be working on this, and whereas the past portrait I applied like this wash of blue ink, that would be my push parts of the figure. Now this is going to be the pull parts. So this is going to be like all the stuff that protrudes from the face, and I'm going to kind of look at it as the white of my page. So it's just the reverse of the way I was working. I hope I'm making sense with what I'm saying. So in the other portrait, because the blues and the shadows were already there, that's the part that's recessed. you know, so say like this inner corner of the eye and say over here by the hairline, you know, that would all be like the recess, the push parts, and that would be like the blue paint that I had put down. But this would be the opposite because it's a very light value. So this would be, say, the bridge of the nose and, you know, like say this part over here, the forehead, you know. So it's just the reverse. But anyways, I'm just gonna do it. I don't know if I'm gonna do the whole thing, but I'm just gonna like start off and experiment and, you know, just we'll see where it goes. So I'm just gonna start by laying down some inks. And because I know that the hair is going to be black, so I'm gonna try to leave some of the yellow for the highlights. And you know, this is what I mean, it's just like you've got to flip your brain, like it's just the reverse of the, if I had to use the darker paint. So I think it's going to be a little confusing for me in the beginning, but then I'll get the hang of it, hopefully. If not, I'll just kind of learn as I go. So just to recap, you guys, from the last portrait series, the three main points that I can think of that really stand out to me is the concept of push and pull. That was a really good visual for me to kind of go, oh, okay. And when I think about it that way, it just made things so much easier. Like when you push something in and recess it, you're gonna use a cooler or a neutral color and a darker value. And then when you pull something out of the page, it's going to be a lighter value and a warmer, brighter color. And the second thing was that everything works in tandem with everything else. So, you know, nothing on the page it works in isolation. And the third thing is when I talked about a color field, it's never like one color. And honestly, you guys, that is probably the one single thing that really elevated my art to the next level. Like when I first started painting many years ago, it was the realization that, oh, so if somebody has black hair, like you don't paint the whole entire thing black, because it really forces you to stop and look at what you are painting and to isolate parts of it, because like I said, the brain kind of fills in the gaps. So, you know, that was like a really big thing and a single thing that just elevated my art once I truly grasped it. Yeah, so if you start doing that and say, oh, just because I'm painting a red dress, oh, okay, I'm gonna show you. This is a great example actually, because, you know, I really love her work. But do you see how when you look at that sweater, I guess, you're gonna read it as, you know, red. I read it as red. I mean, you could read it, yeah, it's a red sweater. I was thinking maybe it could be orange, but actually it's a red sweater. But if you look at it really closely, do you see all the different colors and tones? Like this over here, that's almost like a super dark brown, this whole entire piece. And this over here, that's a different color than, say, this part over here. This is more orange. Do you see all the variations? But when you look at this, you're reading this as a red sweater. It's the same with the face. Like, look at all the beautiful skin tones. Like, but when you look at the entire face, you're reading it as a dark-skinned woman. But when you like isolate parts of it, like I see, okay, that looks like there's like this part is like gray. It's like a brown, but it's got a very gray tone to it. And, you know, there's orange over here and there's, you know, red. And I mean, there's so many different colors. There's probably like ultramarine blues and, you know, so that in and of itself just that one, I guess, realization, it really changed the way I paint. And so if you can just do, like, really kind of get that, you know, that lesson. And if you get the values correctly, you can pretty much use any color. And that's a great kind of lesson to focus on. And that's one of the reasons why I am working on my 100-day project and I'm using neutrals, is because I want to work with my values. I want to like really kind of strengthen my values, my understanding of values. So it's not, for me, doing this 100-day project, it's not about the aesthetics of it. Yeah, of course I want to learn, but more importantly, I want to really strengthen my values. And that's why I'm not really using a lot of colors. Like, I'm not going for my bright colors, I'm going for more like neutrals. Then I can just focus on values. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. And if you really understand values, then you can use any color you want, and it's gonna work. So I'm gonna like, so this part of the neck, I am gonna use some blues here from my Stabilo. And in the previous portraits that I was doing, sorry, I was using the blue ink initially, and so all of this shadowy part would have already been on the page when I you know, just did that wash of blue ink. But now I've got to put my blue. But see, in the other one, I had to build up this part of the neck that's going to be lighter, but I'm going to leave this yellow because I'm going to use the yellow wash that I put down as my lighter value and as my pull from the page. So I don't know what color to make her dress. And I think what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna make it blue, actually. I think I wanna make it blue because in the other one I wanted a red, because everything was looking like a bit too similar in color. But for this one, I wanna put some cools down because, you know, this yellow is very warm. So there we go. And I'm just gonna dip some of that in there. And so what I'm gonna do, you guys, is I am actually going to use the blue and I'm gonna kind of like just detail, like, say a part of the nose and say the lips. So do you see how the face is taking shape? Now I haven't put any collage on here, but things are really kind of shaping up and I'm really kind of happy with the direction it's going in. So I am gonna put some tea bags though. probably should have put my tea bags first before I put my colors down, but that's okay. I'm just building up my layers, so it's totally fine. I'm just learning as I go as well. So you guys, my first class like that I took when I was in my mid-20s, I took a lot of art classes, not in university, but after university. And what I started off with was watercolor, and I think like a figure drawing class or something like that. But watercolor, you have to plan everything with traditional watercolor. Now, I don't know now, there's probably mixed media watercolor, and I've seen some really amazing mixed media stuff. But the way I learned watercolor is you have to plan everything out because you've got to retain your whites. And it's like the reverse of working in acrylics. It's really difficult to explain it, but if you've done it, you'll understand. So you have to meticulously plan everything out so that you can save your light colors, your white color, your white of the paper, etc. And when I am used to putting down a splash of, say, blue or Payne's gray, like a very dark color, so me using this yellow is just a bit of a learning curve for me because it's like, it's not difficult, but it's like I have to work in the reverse way that I would if I was putting down a dark value. So it's not difficult, but it's just a bit like I'm gonna get muddled up, I think, a little bit. Now what I'm gonna do is normally, like when I put the dark values down, like the blue ink, I put the collage over here for like this part, like under the eye, like over there, like for the pull part of the face. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the yellow for that. So I'm not gonna put the collage there. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna put the collage over here maybe and see how that works out. And so I would kind of put some shadows over here. And I'm gonna dip some of that ink in there. Well, you guys, I'm really interested to see how this is going to turn out because generally I am used to having a very dark background when I splash the ink. So this is going to be kind of interesting. And I've just kind of like neutralized the blue a little bit. Now, I think I need to add some reds to the face. I don't know. This is a bit of a challenge for me to figure out how to kind of work this yellow in here. And it's interesting when things are challenging because I have to now try to resolve it. Okay, you guys, I am going to let this dry and then come back. So let me know, you guys, if you want me to continue like making the second part of this video. If there's any interest, then I will do that. But I will certainly show you how it turned out regardless, but let me know if you want to if you want me to tape the whole entire thing. Okay, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.